YouTube, Facebook, to the title. Let's get to it. Greetings. Is the New Age movement illuminati deception? I'm going to answer as best I can. It's going to be a little tricky, but I want to say, of course, no, because I'm a New Ager. I don't carry a negative content towards a New Ager. Some people say I'm not really New Age. I just overall awakened. If you feel that's a difference, but when I first got into this stuff, I would say definitely no. But now, as time goes on, it might actually be more now than it is back then. Because if you look at mainstream and trends, I don't know if you guys noticed, but all of a sudden people are wearing crystals around their necks. You know, crystals and stones. It's all of a sudden a trend in the thing. Being spiritual is a trend in the thing now. And there's, and people being a witch all of a sudden, and they're not going all the way and being what they claim to be. So, like I said, it's tricky. When you have individuals like Oprah and some other celebrities spouting out law of attraction, that's a sign that, yeah, it definitely is. So Oprah is very New World Order Illuminati figure. So that tells you, yeah, right there. Some UFC fighters. I think Conor McGregor mentioned law of attraction. So yeah, and as I see again, people wearing crystals on the neck and they don't even know what crystal they're wearing, and how they don't even know the spiritual properties that the crystal they're wearing does. Yeah, it's getting trendy, it's getting mainstream, and that's not a good sign, because when stuff gets mainstream and trendy, it starts to lose its authenticity. Perfect example is, pro wrestling. There was a time it was real. The kind of wrestling I do is catch wrestling, and that kind of wrestling I do used to be professional wrestling in the early 1900s. And what happened was, there was no point system. Normally the matches were 2 out of 3 falls, and normally there were 2 out of 3 falls, and they would, no point systems, not really a time limit. So once it got more, there was one match where it was a guy named Ed Strangler Lewis and something Sabisco. And Ed Strangler Lewis was a very defensive wrestler. And, when you are in there, I don't know if you guys ever competed in a martial arts event, but especially when it's not televised and there's no promoters like that, you're not there to please a crowd. You're there to do what you got to do to win. And so Ed Strangler Lewis is, like I said, was a defensive wrestler. The match ended up going 5 hours, and they went through 2 referees, and half of the crowd had left. So that's when they said, we need to rig wrestling, and it became, or we need to make it predetermined. If you ask me, the same thing's gone with MMA too. There was a time where you watch the old UFC matches, your Shamrock versus Gracie the second time, where there's no point system. A lot of the complaints was, they might throw 2 punches, but then they would go to the ground and hold him there, because the other one didn't want to make a mistake, and again, you're there to win the fight and not lose. You're not there to please the crowd. You're there to do what you have to do to win the fight. So, if you ask me, it's very much predetermined, just like wrestling is. Because going off subject, you ever notice when Ronda Rousey, before she lost her title, she was going to go and make a movie, okay? You go back in history, Hulk Hogan did the same thing. He had the world title, he dropped the title, and then he made a movie and came back, and also when a MMA fighter goes to WWF and he has a title, Brock Lesnar, for example, he dropped the title, he went to WWF. He wants to go back to MMA, he drops the title, goes to MMA, it's the same thing. So the point is, money kills integrity, okay? And becoming more mainstream with crystals and stones, it's starting to lose integrity, because like I said, a lot of people are wearing crystals and stones and not even knowing the property or magical, or even the name of the crystal. They're just wearing them because it's cool now. It looks good. So definitely, it's less of a deception than your mainstream religions like Christianity and Catholic and Muslim, Islam, whatever all that stuff's called. It's much less than that, because it doesn't count as being all the way mainstream. But like I said, you have a whole bunch of, here in New England, there's a lot of witches here, and they don't go all the way, and especially if they're under the Wicca belt, because if you're under Wicca, it's a pagan religion with a New Age approach. So the Wiccans are neo-pagans. They're New Agers, and there's some that don't believe in the Illuminati, and that's very unauthentic. I think I mentioned it in past videos. So, like I said, New World Order, it controls everything. So if it controls mainstream, there's big deception mainstream, like the news, like big pharma, like the vaxes, like the school system. Schools are prisons, there's a few punk rock songs titled "Schools Are Prisons," and it's very much true when you look at it. Yeah, and it's all a system built of fear. That's the only thing with New Age is it doesn't feed to a fear like the other spiritualities or religions. The worst that happens, if you do something bad, you get bad karma. That's the only thing. You don't go to hell for anything, So, in that part, yeah, definitely, it's not an Illuminati deception, but in other stuff, yeah, like celebrities spouting out law of attraction, that's one thing to look out for. And people that know nothing about spirituality or crystals, or the crystals they're wearing, they're starting to wear crystals. It's a cool thing now, There's some people that they'll wear the crystals, and the best they could do is say, "Oh, it's my birthstone. Someone told me it's my birthstone. So I'm wearing it." That's the best they could do, So here's the things to look out for. Something's becoming too mainstream. And that's just not with New Age. That's with anything. When it's becoming too mainstream, it starts to become a business. And it's a ploy to make money. You know, they say the same thing about all sports. It's all, and when you think about it, Boston bombing happened, and then the Red Sox win the World Series. Kobe Bryant dies in 2020. The Lakers win the series. These are these future movies. So when you look at it, most likely, yeah, even sports. As crazy as it sounds, apparently I saw a video where the basketball being rigged isn't a new thing. They've been saying it since the '70s. So television, go back to television, telling glass vision. Second is thing to look out for is when certain new age let's learn for authors that a lot of people get a lot of their books when they do all this. They write all these books. They say certain things, and like I said earlier, they don't mention the Illuminati, like the neo-pagan stuff. I wouldn't say is part of it because the trick with the neo-pagan part is they don't believe in Satan, so it's hard to believe in satanic rituals if we don't believe in Satan in the first place. But here's the thing about neo-pagans: they do believe in Satan. They know him as Saturn. That's a whole new can, but Saturn and Satan and Santa is the same entity. If you read it somewhere in tablets, you study those, you probably have an idea what I'm going to. If not, I'm just do another video about it some other time. But individuals like Doreen Virtue, I have one of her book about ascended masters, and in the book it said freaking Walt Disney is an ascended master. Racist Walt Disney, ascended master. That's and she never talks about any conspiracy theories. That's a sign. That's a big sign because that information is about conspiracy theories and Illuminati. Same thing with Dolores Cannon. I never read any of her books. Don't get me wrong, but from my knowledge, she doesn't mention anything about the Illuminati or New World Order. Some of Doreen Virtue's, that's a sign right there. But some of Doreen Virtue's books, like her book The Earth Angels and Ascended Masters, mention Freemasonry or people that are Freemasons and other celebrities. And if they're not talking about conspiracy theories, that's a sign. Because as you know, conspiracy theories are not mainstream. New Age is not really a mainstream movement. So if it's not mainstream, put two together. So, and that subject is very important because not to be a conspiracy theorist, that's not the main thing, but know why the information that you get from New Age books, like opening your third eye, your chakras, preventing activities that could lower your vibration, thus mess up your psychic abilities. These are very important subjects because the subject of Illuminati answers, why does this happen? Why? Because there's an organization that tells you through religion or atheism that this stuff is evil, or you're going to go to hell, or this doesn't exist. Why is society hell bent on keeping this stuff hidden when it could help them? Because, there's an organization controlling everything that prevents you from doing it. When they control everything and they're doing bad stuff, you're opening your third eye could expose that. may not expose it to the public, but expose it to yourself. And you get your friends to open their third eye, and they can see them for themselves. They don't want that. They don't want the public knowing that. So that answers that question, you know. So those are things to look for in the deception of New World Order. Not deception New World Order. I'm sorry, the New Age. You know, if stuff's getting too mainstream and they don't mention conspiracy theories, and if the author mentions celebrities, you know, that are Freemasons, like that was or are Freemasons, like Walt Disney. Okay, like I said, during Virtue, you know, if you look at Walt Disney and how racist he is, you know, or how racist he was, there's no way that guy's an ascended master, you know. And then all the stuff about Disney, that's a whole new can of stuff a whole new can of worms to look up. So that's, you know, all the subliminal messages that Disney does in their shows and cartoons, you know, so those are the reasons. And so on the forefront is New Age deception, somewhat deception. There's New Age movement, somewhat deception, yes. Not all the way though. You know, so I think that's it. Catch you guys later. My next video hopefully will be soon. Been very busy, so I'll catch you guys later. All right, peace.